Hi, Mohammed. You are an expert in AI and cybersecurity research, and we look forward to having you as a speaker at our COMEX AI conference on the 31st of May, where you will be speaking about the use of AI in legal and about the use of AI in legal and regulation. Mohammed, before I go ahead and speak about this industry, can you go ahead and give us a brief summary of your background?
Certainly. So AI, cybersecurity law, and robotics have all been the highlight and the basis of the research that I've conducted over the past years. And so my research has been generally geared towards the cyber domain, as I focus on how current strategies and policies deal with AI and advances in robotics. And on how nations and corporations ought to collaborate in order to form and implement policies suitable to matters of cybersecurity and privacy. And so, in addition to attaining a master's degree with a focus on information privacy, robotics, and cybersecurity, and governance generally, and in building upon my credentials and expertise in the cyber domain, both from a legal and technical perspective, I've attained multiple certificates, such as those in IT law, legal informatics, and data and internet law, and in governance, compliance, and risk management. And so I've spoken at several international conferences and colloquiums, and my published work includes papers on the regulation of AI in the corporate world, the need for an international legal regime concerning AI governance, and on how we should actually be approaching cyber insurance policies, and generally government surveillance, and the conflict of individual privacy with national security interests. And so generally, I seek to be proactive in my approach towards communicating AI and law interrelated risks. And so I investigate the relationships that legal orders should have with technological innovation and their interdisciplinary relationship.
That's really great to hear that, Mohammed, and I'm very proud to see that there's a Omani expert of your age who has such a great background in this area and from your working experience as well. I think AI is a great tool for, even trying to focus specifically on this industry where it promises so much, there's so much potential to boost efficiency by automating routine, high volume tasks in legal research, in diligence, many different areas that I can think of. What are the solutions from your experience that AI can offer in this domain?
Actually, when it comes to AI, mainly we should be referring to automation and the multiple benefits behind such advanced technologies. And but nonetheless, before we actually look at the benefits behind what AI can actually present, we ought to have a certain governance and regulatory framework set in place. Nonetheless, now looking beyond let's just say beyond the current stage that AI is currently at, I believe that the potential is incredible, and we can see a lot of countries that have actually started adopting certain AI technologies, as well as regulating such technologies. And as we can see from what the EU Commission just recently published on April 21st, I believe, a certain proposal towards AI regulation. And so AI could be actually utilized in the medical sector, policing as well, and as well as in the legal sector itself.
It's like you said. I mean, it's a very useful tool, something which is going to kind of really drive change in the future. Can you talk specifically from your experience about what's been happening in this sphere in Oman and the GCC?
Certainly. And so generally, as we can see, multiple GCC countries have actually put down certain AI strategies towards the future, and they've actually included such strategies in the, let's just say, in the vision for the next 10 to 20 years. We can see that happening a lot in our own vision document on how we ought to actually focus on investing in technology itself. And within the GCC itself, you can see NEOM in Saudi Arabia as well, investing a lot in such a technology, as well as the UAE's proposals on how they can actually invest within the AI sector.
Great. So we've talked about Oman and the GCC. I wanted to ask, who do you recommend should attend your talk in terms of their backgrounds, in terms of their responsibilities and positions? And what are the main benefits and value of them attending your talk?
Certainly. So to be honest with you, the main reason behind such a talk that I seek to actually give at the conference itself is to address the necessity and the importance of adopting such a technology in our near future, because if we want to be competitive in the international marketplace, if we want to be a technological hub, actually, we ought to take such technologies or consider such technologies as a priority. And so for that to happen, I wouldn't just rely on the technical community on attending our conference. Nonetheless, I believe that regulators, security community, as well as the technical community, all ought to be participants in the advancement of such a technology, as it ought to be a collaborative effect. And when you think about it, we can, it's easy to develop such an advanced technology. Nonetheless, without a certain regulatory framework, we're going to be lost. And so therefore, I believe that all sectors ought to attend, the technical, regulatory, and the security community.
I completely agree with what you're saying. I mean, there's so many case studies from other industries that people can benefit from at this conference. So finally, can you tell me why you're excited about COMEX 2021?
Oh, certainly. So the main reason behind the excitement about the whole conference is because it seeks to address not only specific aspects of artificial intelligence itself, such as only the technical aspects, but also the regulatory aspects behind it. And so, and it's also going to turn the spotlight towards Oman, of actually hosting such conferences that actually look to the future. And so what we honestly seek to address is that Oman is going to be hopefully the place to be in the near future.
Correct, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you at COMEX AI, Mohamed. Thank you.
Pleasure so much.